welcome back to another episode of What About Dat? My name's Adair, and with the help of my friend Jen, we'll be going over Supergirl episode 217, Distant Sun. So sit back, relax, and ask yourself, what about that? Okay, let's get into this synopsis. Linda Carter returns as President Marsden, and Kevin Smith directs. A large bounty is put out on Supergirl, Melissa Benoist, and the aliens far and near attack National City, intent on taking out the Woman of Steel. Alex, Kyler Lee, and Maggie, Florina Lima, run into Maggie's ex-girlfriend, Emily, guest star Haley Sales, who is in town for a week. Hank, David Harwood, gets an interesting order from President Marsden. Guest star Linda Carter. Kevin Smith directs episode 217, Distant Sun. Hey everybody, how goes it? Welcome back. Yes, Jen, how are you?
I'm great. Just ordered some tacos.
We just ordered tacos, guys, and let me tell you, I'm a little sad because the place that I normally like a good taco completely closed. And when I mean completely, they're lazy enough to turn off their Grubhub. Anyways, so now we're waiting for that. So we might get a little distracted by being hangry, so don't judge us, okay? All right, so we're talking about
this week's episode,
yep.
Distant Sun.
Distant Sun, da-da-da, spelled S-U-N, even though it's talking about Monel.
It's talking about the sun, but it's also talking about the sun.
Clearly. All right, so we open up in this show, and, you know, everybody's favorite part, at least for me in the beginning, well, not everybody's, but my favorite part, is just watching Monel in the morning, having a very Monel morning, being a domestic housewife. That's my favorite.
He's a desperate Monel wife.
He's a desperate Monel wife.
Yes. And Monel is making breakfast for Kara.
Which is precious.
Poaching some eggs. He's like, audience, like me, please.
I mean, honest to God, it was like, the Supergirl writers are like, see, he's a good guy. He can poach an egg. I'm like, I'm a good person, and I don't even poach eggs. Like, it's fine.
I've never
like,
poached an egg.
That's not really helping me sell it, but okay.
But he does want to get a jump start on the laundry. That in itself.
I actually really love that moment where he's like, oh, babe, let's go in together. And she's like, okay, sure. And then just like...
He's like, I left my clothes at the DEO. And she's like, oh, I'm ready. Oh, this is going to take a minute.
Like, how awkward is that?
And he's like, just go. I'll do the laundry. And I was like, yes. That's when I clapped my hands and I was like, yes, you will do the laundry. Thank you, sir. That is so
make
convenient.
Her a sandwich for lunch.
That shit is super.
Okay, let me just preface this by saying, well, Jen might not care. I actually don't hate Monel as a character. I hate the fact that the writers have fucked up his character and have made him a shitty character. But I saw the potential and I don't dislike him. But I will point out when it's absolute fuckery, okay? Yeah.
You think I'm the Monel hater in
this
relationship?
You 100% hate Monel.
Well, how about this? Okay. If a character is a character that's been written on a piece of paper and developed that way, and it's just written poorly, then really is it the character or is it the writing? I don't know.
So do you hate the writers or do you hate the character?
The writers created this version of Monel.
Which is shitty.
So it's like, if the writers wrote that, then he is the character, and the writing is him, and he is the writing. You cannot, cannot separate the two.
Very kumbaya.
No.
So, like I was saying, guys, please, when you're listening to this, don't think that it's like, oh, these bitches hate Monel. I don't dislike the character.
There's very little to work with.
I actually just like the fact, I think that he could be better. I think that he could be a really cool staple to the show that doesn't make everybody want to kill themselves. Anyways.
Wait. That challenges the idea, though, because... You know he's been better. You've read him better. You've read him written
If we've
better.
seen the comic and you know Valor, you know good and well he's a better character.
You know Valor. You brought it.
Well, I'm saying you as in the collective you, not necessarily.
No, but I'm saying you brought it to my attention how much you knew this character prior to him being on the show. You were a reader and follower of the comic, and you knew who Valor was. So if you've read him better, and you know he can be better, but he's not in this forum, in this medium, then
it's a bummer.
It is the writing.
It's just, I always get sad, no matter what show, is when, like, I know a character has great potential or has a ability to do other things, and then it's just, like, a sad, like, womp womp. It also kind of, like, bums me out that, like, people really, really latch on to Monel. They're like, oh, he's so great. What are you talking about? You guys are haters. And I'm like, you don't see the bad writing. But being an actor and having read and seen things that are really, really quite good, is it my own dislike of the writing, or do I just not like the character? I'm like, I want Carl with a boyfriend. I want all that things, but the way it's going just sucks. Anyways.
Well, also, I agree with you, and as being someone who's writing a pilot right now, it's really hard for me to sit down and watch this writing, which has been approved by a table of writers.
Approved by a group?
No, it is. There is a group of people who sit down and literally line for line put this whole show together.
Yep.
So it's not just one person who's approving and being like, this is my agenda. It's like everyone.
Yeah.
They've all agreed.
And it's
this
like,
is our Manal.
Like,
this is who we want to put forward. And so we
yeah, it's a thing. So
we want to be positive. We're going to be positive.
Well,
I'm trying to find the positive.
I wasn't trying to be negative. I just wanted to point out that
his
I
laundry
appreciate that.
It's a positive.
I appreciate this kind of quirky, patriarchal, like, be in the kitchen, make me a sandwich. I think it's cute.
This reverse role.
Yeah, everybody likes a good role reversal. You know what I'm saying? Jen mentioned something earlier, which I thought, we had a little powwow about the show before we hit record, and she said something very, very interesting. Monel gave up his family very quickly. And when I mean gave up his family, he was like, and Earth is my new home now. Fuck you guys. Go away. I'm settling here, whatever. That's all good and dandy.
The timeline, though, tell them.
Yeah, that's the thing. The timeline is okay, so Daxon blew up. He thought his parents were dead. Okay? He knew, for the most part, his parents were complete dicks. Okay? And he was okay living on Earth. He knows what is right and what's wrong for the most part. Okay? What sucks is that his family is still his family. His mom is a hot mess, but she still loves him, even in her fanaticism. She wants the best for him. So when they come to collect him, even in their misguided attempt, he's like, F you guys, I'm with her now. Monel was so quick to just leave his family for a girl. It was kind of unnerving. I get it. They're not good people. And I get it. You want to show this woman you're better than they are or better than that. But there was no discussion. There was no time lapse of I don't know. There was no, what's the word?
Well, you were
debate in his mind.
You brought it up that Monel came to Earth the same time that Alex met Maggie. So it's been about 9 months. And so his time on Earth has been 9 months. And his time on Daxam was his whole life. So he's really quick to suspect his parents, if you think about it, of putting this bounty on Kara. He's really quick to turn against his people in his time.
So fast.
And we talked about this because we talked about he was the prince of Daxam, and even if there was slavery, he wasn't somebody who experienced
He reaped all the benefits
hardship.
of their cruelty. And
right.
He had a good life for the most part. Even Kara said, go back to Daxam. You had a good life. You could be a better person now that you know the lessons, but for the most part, he really didn't suffer.
It wasn't a bad memory in there.
Yeah, there should have been a bad memory.
Prince George, he's just going to have a great childhood. And he is for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And then learning, he Monel wasn't in touch with his planet's politics.
Exactly.
He just was enjoying the fruit of being the prince of his planet, all the luxury.
And if I was royalty, I would do the same thing for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
So the quickness in which his parents return, and he's so unwilling to return home, even if he's had a positive experience.
Yeah, because, I get, I was waiting for Monel to be like, look, something in the writing, once again, Mom, Dad, I don't want to just stay on Earth for Kara. Because, once again, that's something that I don't like about the character. He has no backbone. He does not stand on his own. He does everything for a girl or for a...
He has no storyline.
He has no storyline. So he doesn't stop or go on his own free will. He stops being a bounty hunter for Kara. He stops being, I guess, a dick for Kara. He stops he wants to be a hero for Kara, even though eventually he was like, oh, no, it's for me, but it really was for her. I want to be a better boyfriend for you, which is good. That's what I'm saying. But he doesn't say, I want to be a good man, and I want to take care of a woman, and I want to be the best king, or I want to be better than my father. There was none of that. There was no self-preservation. It's all about the external. What, I want to do this for Kara. I want this is for other people, but not for him. And that's a failure of his character.
He just doesn't have a storyline. His storyline is about Kara. He has no agency of his own. Yeah. And we can sense that. And that's what it makes it hard to like jump onto the Carmel train, is that he's such a shallow character.
Yeah.
And he's in storyline A every episode.
Who has potential to be more, but is this weird shallow. Like, I don't mind you being in the A plot, which is the main plot, but come with something other than I'm the boyfriend who's trying to be better.
Right, it's not his show, so.
Yeah, it's not a show. Anyways, so there's that. It is what it is. The game night, you were mentioning the game night. What's it about?
Well, I was excited to see that Kara was interacting with Win and Jimmy, and I actually really would love to see, as an actor, the moment before. I would love to see a couple more lines of them just in the game playing, and some friendship banter between Kara and Jimmy. I
miss the trio.
I miss that.
Super friends.
And that is so missed. But then we have Monel, and he enters the scene, and we talked about this idea that because we have such a heavy Monel Kara show right now, it's so heavy that all the little intricacies, all the things they built in season 1, all the super friends, any of the other sub characters, all of their time is kind of pulled back for this larger story that they've really not developed the full character of Monel into his fullest being. So it's basically Monel interrupts the scene. He shows up. He doesn't interrupt it. He enters the scene, and we talked about this. There's an exchange, and what's been going on is there's a bounty on Kara's head, and Monel suspects that it's due to his parents interfering with his relationship, and he's right to suspect that. But there's a bounty, and they don't want Kara out on patrol. They want her to stay home.
Until they get it sussed out, until they can kind of get a foothold of, how severe it is.
Right. And we talked about this together, and I said one of my comments in this little tiny scene was that I felt like there was an exchange between Monel and Jimmy in which it was kind of like, we both don't want Kara out and about, but Kara doesn't really listen to me. Maybe she'll listen to you, as Monel enters the room. And I felt like this is like really the wrong show to have that kind of banter with, because this is a show that touts the idea of having a strong feminine character. So why would you have these two guys broing out, being like, handle your little lady, she wants to work, and especially coming from the character of Jimmy, who's always been really supportive of Kara and working in her agency, that the idea of Kara being pulled away and Kara listening to Monel was kind of off-putting.
And for me, I understand, because I didn't really see it that way. I don't know, it didn't come across that way to me. I thought that it's more of maybe it could have been delivered better, I guess. I saw it as like, okay, she's being hard-headed again and stubborn, and everybody who loves her has been like, just stay in tonight, and we will deal with this later. And now that you're home, because you're the new boyfriend, because like I pointed out, Kara used to take advice from Alex and Jimmy and Win. Now she has a boyfriend. Alex has a girlfriend. Jimmy's off guarding. Win's off winning. She doesn't have that, but she has Monel. So that would be who might get through her stubbornness. Might being the key word. So for me, when I heard Jimmy go, talk to your girl, we've all kind of done that when our friends are being hard-headed. Even though we're the closest ones to them, we'll be like, get your girl or get your boy, deal with them because they're being a pain in the ass kind of thing. That's what I read off of it, but I can also understand Jen's point of view, in saying that.
Well, Jimmy, he's always been so supportive of her being her own career woman. So he's the last person I would think would be like, don't go on patrol. And another thing is, I still have a hard time with any of the male characters on this show telling Kara to like not go on patrol, basically because she is the most powerful woman in the world, physically.
No,
you know? And so it's like, if you have the most powerful woman in the world who can physically throw you through a wall, why are you telling her not to go to work?
Well, for me, I get that. I just still think it has nothing to do with her being Supergirl in that regard.
But the threat isn't imminent, you know, like it's not like these people who have a bounty have a kryptonite sword or anything.
Well, you don't know. They might.
Well, I'm just saying they haven't, and like, well, they showed exactly a scene where Kara's beating down a bounty hunter. That guy, that was the quality in which they sent after Kara.
Yeah, but then you had a guy with a mental thing using her friends and family against her. Like, you don't know the scope of it could have been. But I say like this. People are worried, you're like, in the way, you're kind of worried that they're telling Supergirl not to work. And for me, when I see it, they're telling Kara, their friend, sister, girlfriend, bestie, to be careful and don't work just for like, that's human. Like,
I just
I wouldn't want you to go out, even if you were able to.
But Kara's the only one who takes bullets every night of the week and knows she can handle that.
Yeah, but just...
And I feel like nobody else, if they can't, if they don't... None of the other characters can take the same kind of physical impact that she can take. So, because they've never even physically experienced that, then how can they tell her?
No, because you're still thinking it's a physical... them telling her, don't go out physically. But it's an emotional thing. They love her. They're saying, don't go out emotionally. They're not saying you can't do it. They know she can do it. They know she can kick their ass. But... at the risk of losing her because they aren't mind readers and they don't know what weapons people have. Like, Terry Hatcher got the better of her. Who saw that coming? But like, you don't know. So it's like, as a friend, as a colleague, as a sister, as a person who loves Kara, not even thinking about Supergirl, they're saying stay in so that we could at least suss it out before you put yourself in danger, because we love you and we don't want something bad to happen to you, because if we just let you go, there is a chance that something could happen. You could fuck up. Somebody could have a weapon that you can't overcome. Because even though she is the strongest person on the world in the Earth, she's not the strongest person in the universe. And these aliens are coming from the universe that somebody could have made a trip to the Slaver's Moon, grab some kryptonite, or have a red sun weapon. We've never seen it, but hey, it could happen. That's what I'm saying.
I understand your point, and I also feel like having people who aren't at her level set a limit on her. There's a point in that as well. It's
yes,
like,
that gets
almost like if you think about like a beat cop. A beat cop goes patrolling night after night.
Yeah, they're not going to tell FBI agent or somebody.
They might run into a situation where there might be a hostile situation. Doesn't mean they will. But at the same time, it's their job to do it night after night.
But also, money is important too, because they said that bounty was like really, really high, enough to buy a small ghetto planet, if you will. And
okay, I think that was a really great debate. I actually really enjoyed talking about both sides of that. This was something we didn't plan, and I really liked that.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of fights.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm dying on the inside. Much like the guy in the cell was dying from Jean's massive brain, if you will. It was like a pissing contest, except with the mind. It was great. And Jean's like, oh, you think you got shit? Loves me some Alex going, grab me the wrench. Because now this bitch is a little unhinged. She'll just like beat up any person without...
I love seeing Alex go to that place.
Because she's like so over it. I'm like, throw that roebuck out the window, girl. You grab that wrench.
See, but they don't do that enough with Kara. And I feel like
Sadly,
I need to see that.
I love her sugar and spice, but I want to see her...
Exodus episode where she just like manhandles people fisticuff style. You know what I mean?
That's actually a good way to phrase it. I want to see Kara's Exodus episode.
We want to see her unleash her power. Like who pisses her off to that point?
Because we saw her stop the ship, which was crazy, and that is a feat of strength. But I want to see like almost like a lashing, because I always get really weird when people are super nice, like really, really, really friendly people. Mind you, I'm super friendly, but like I also am jaded. It weirds me out when I see someone's like, hey, what's up? And they're always in that like happy place, because I'm like, I don't trust you. You're unhinged somehow. I want Kara, the most pure person in this group, to just get dark. Now, we saw her get dark when the red kryptonite was inside of her, and she got all evil and a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see evil Kara. I want to see, because she said in that episode, every bad thought she ever had manifested itself and came out through her. Now, I don't want to see her have bad thoughts or act on those bad thoughts. I want to see her kind of hulk out for the right reason. Maybe Alex is in danger. Maybe, Jean's in danger. Maybe something to the point where she has to not be nice. Where if Mon-El is going to help her with anything, I think the one thing she can learn from him, because he's very oh my gosh, what's the word? Spontaneous. And he sometimes doesn't think stuff through, but he also...
I want to see her be a little bit more impulsive.
Impulsive, yeah. I want to see her be a little bit more impulsive, a bit going towards her anger a little bit, or her
or feeding into a little bit more dark side.
Yeah, feed into that dark side and use it, because there is a balance. You can't be all good with no light, and you can't be all, dark with nothing going on, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to see that. But as far as the melding of the minds and that cage fight between Jean and random brain melding. Actually, somebody said, and I was like, I have to go back and look, that he might be the puppet master. Where
did we ever get a name for this character?
No, there's no name, but from the powers that he's using, because he doesn't.
The bald guy who just mentally.
Well, because he doesn't control their mind, he controls their body.
What did you think of the Kara Mon-El fight? Because that was like a big thing they teased in the promo. What did you think of it?
I thought
did it live up to expectation?
Well, I mean, the fight was what it was. We all knew in the trailer that it was going to be like they weren't really fighting. It was just like something we didn't know how or what the deal was.
This character got into Mon-El.
Yeah,
I
think
as well.
A lot of it for the CW, especially because people know that some folks aren't super thrilled with Mon-El. They just wanted to sell the point that he was getting socked in the face. Like,
so you think they're aware of this character, and they're like, let's hit him in the face and put that in the promo, because then we're gonna get views.
100%. I mean, they do that shit all the time. Like, that'll be a ha ha ha. That'll get the people who aren't caramel shippers to watch the show. That'll get caramel shippers to watch the show because they're bickering, but they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Let's find out.
So there was intrigue. Seed planted.
100% intrigue. And it wasn't even like anything really that important. But I thought the fighting, the actual choreography was smooth. I have a few questions about the fighting, Mon-El's skill. Yes, he was training with Kara. The puppet master, or whoever, I'm going to call him the puppet master because I don't have a name for him. I think that my question is, was he, the puppet master, using Mon-El's body and controlling him kind of like we do video games where we know how to make somebody punch? So is the guy mentally a better fighter than Mon-El?
So you thought Mon-El was fighting better than his level?
Yes, I thought Mon-El was fighting better than we've seen him. He seemed faster, a little bit stronger. Like he just kind of.
We saw him use super speed, and we'd never seen that.
No, I've seen him a few times use super speed when he's like caught Kara for the crossover and things like that. But like when he hit her and she like flew into the car, that kind of power I've never seen, because every other villain who's ever fought Mon-El has just thrown him around like a rag doll. So I was like,
I think I agree with you, because like this episode showed a little bit more of his power more than other episodes, and I forget what he can do. I know he can do some stuff that Kara does,
like he jumps high. He's kind of strong.
Hard. I thought he just jumped high and punched hard. But then apparently he runs fast too. And I thought I really don't know. It's not a clear point.
Well, I also laughed because I thought it was I wasn't sure if they meant to make it comical or not, because he's like, quick, run away. I'm dangerous. I'm a threat. And she's like dodging his punches. And then like, she's like, okay, like bobbing and weaving. He's like, get away, quick, run away. But like, he wasn't really a threat. It made me laugh. I don't know. I'm laughing right now because I thought it was funny. All right.
Let's move on to Samverse.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Samverse in this episode.
Okay. I just want to say, I hate and I get it. Don't like it. Not a fan of it. I appreciate the promotion of the show. Whoever does the promotion and the promos, good for them. They know how to do it right. It just bothers me the way they do it. They will sell the whole Alex meets an ex. Dun, dun, dun.
As
they did that
storyline A.
As storyline A. And that intrigue, and you're like, sweet.
But then
Honestly,
we walk into a Monel heavy heterosexual episode.
with absolutely
And
nothing.
we're like, oh,
And
that's what we want.
You know, and not even that for me. I don't mind that even if they're in the background, fine, whatever.
But then why sell the couple?
Well, not even just the couple,
Right.
but why even have the ex in the show? Like, she didn't get kidnapped. She didn't get, like, mugged.
She's not a
She
part
wasn't
of
in
the crime.
She
no.
there was nothing, like, okay.
I agree. Oh my God, this is a new point, and I agree.
It was so silly because, like, why have
a completely separate show
like
almost.
it was like a separate show. Like, now we're watching the Sanvers. That's like
Storyline B, Sanvers is its own show.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, so I was waiting for the ex-girlfriend to maybe be like an alien, or like, which I would love to see, seeing as Maggie dates aliens and humans, and apparently aliens more often. I think that'd be interesting. But like, what? It was just kind of like, all right, here gays,
separate.
here's your lesbians for the day.
Here's your story for the day, and we're gonna give it a little less screen time.
There's no Lena, so we're gonna give you the Sanvers. You know, it's like.
But then, like, you're right. This is another thing I think that is fascinating. They sold a Sanvers episode, but it was actually completely Monel-centric.
But they've done that like the
one
fifth time.
of the most Monel-centric storylines we've had.
Yeah.
I can think of 3 episodes that were all
I can think of like
about him.
5, but that's besides
But then they give us a Monel episode, and I think maybe might be why we have such a bitter caramel
feelings sometimes,
because you're dagger cloaking us. And then on top of that, you completely separate this storyline from the actual world.
Because once again, Exodus, we loved seeing
Maggie's incorporated.
Well, Maggie Incorporated, we liked seeing Alex and Kara's relationship back together. It was a group effort in a way. Like, we liked everything.
Yeah.
The last episodes have been, like, we haven't seen Jimmy. Like, he's off the thing. Win is winning, a.k.a. being completely ex machina and OP.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But he's doing his thing, but he's not really part of the character. And then he kind of had a girlfriend. I mean, he has a girlfriend, but he's kind of had a story, but he's convenient. And then, like, Maggie and Alex are just convenient so that they can get the views for the gays, because
they
truth
need
be
that
told,
other audience to completely get a full audience.
This is once again Cloak and Dagger. This is how you know Supergirl's writing is kind of shit occasionally. The ratings after season 1 were going downhill, baby. Just going downhill. And then they made Sanvers. And guess what happens? Millions of viewers tuned in, and we're still here. And we
Yet
were like,
they still stuff caramel on our face.
well, yeah. But now, once again, the writing is still shitty, but we're still supporting the ship. I mean, the ship of, like, Supergirl the show. And we want it to succeed because we like Supergirl. We love that female protagonist. But we also like actual storylines. I don't give a damn if I ever see Sanvers kiss again. Mind you, I would like that, but I wouldn't give a damn as long as the stories called for it. It made sense.
Right.
And it was palpable.
You could think of other times where that really was prevalent. You know what I mean?
They're making these women gal pals. Like, we're in the, once again, 1950s. Like, hey, Alex, you know you can put your hand around your girlfriend's waist. You can hold hands. You don't have to put your arm around her shoulder like your buddy cops. This is not Chips, okay, people? This is not Rizzolian Isles. Gay, but it's not Rizzolian Isles. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay.
It's lesbians who happen to be in a detective. One's a detective, one's a cop.
Let's talk about the scenes, though. Let's talk about what they're doing. So, in the first scene, we see the Sanvers' first story. They give it to us right in the very beginning.
Yeah.
The promo scene where they're coming from yoga.
I'm not gonna lie, that scene was awkward as fuck. I was a little uncomfortable. I was like, damn, this is so awkward.
I would rather, to be honest, you brought up Rizzolian Isles. If you want to be effective with Sanvers and really kind of show them in their normalcy, instead of having them walking away from yoga, you should have the start that scene in yoga. How much more would you have watched that scene?
Oh, yeah.
They're
to see
in
Alex
yoga.
in yoga.
Alex doing the yoga would be hilarious. And, I mean, they could be having a yoga talk. Keep the lines in there, but I would like to have seen that visual, because then you're creating a normalcy rather than you're starting into something that you would normally do rather than making it about them being a couple.
Yes, and okay, so funny story. Because you had mentioned that before. That's the one kind of issue that we're having with Supergirl in the writing. They are starting, like you said, you wanted to see the board game, the game night
I want to
between
see the action
the happy,
rather than that being the log line before the heavy.
Yeah, because it's like we got to give them something to do before Mon-El shows up. Oh, let's play the board game. We got to give them something before the X shows up. Oh, they're leaving yoga. Right. How about we see them doing
X in yoga?
You don't have to yell.
Oh my god, no, I'm so excited. I would have, if I wrote that, I would have had Maggie's girlfriend front row center, the star yoga person doing a downward dog, and fucking Alex sucking at that.
Actually, that would have been really funny to have the X in the yoga class,
like in a totally sexual
and
ass position,
or maybe
Maggie being like, "Oh, I'm staring at ass."
Yeah, or maybe like or Maggie sees her but doesn't say anything, or like or maybe Maggie doesn't see her,
maybe
but
she's
the X
yoga
sees her.
teacher. Oh,
exactly. Maybe she's a yoga teacher. Who knows? And then when they're out of the class, that's when Maggie goes, "Wait, Emily? Oh, hey," something like that. And then that's what makes it even more awkward because they've been together in this yoga class for like an hour already, and it's like super awkward, and they're all sweaty and gross.
Adjustments.
Exactly, and they're all sweaty and gross.
It'd be hilarious to see Alex failing at that yoga.
Well, I don't think she would be the teacher. I think she'd just be in the class because that surprise of Maggie seeing her would be the best. And the other girl
being amazing at yoga.
Or it's just something. It would have been funny, and you could have. That really would have pounded that awkwardness,
And it would have given us a really decent storyline B with the comedy that's missing in A.
Exactly. And then they could have walked away. I do like the fact that Alex is like, look at us being this couple. We're so gross. Like, I love that because who doesn't love
But also she's almost giving you, like, she's giving you, she's telling you rather than showing you what they're doing. She's like giving you,
yeah.
Oh, I forgot the word.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
She's giving you exposition. She's telling you we were
look
sweating.
at us being this adorable couple doing yoga and blah blah blah. We didn't see you do yoga. You could just be some bitches with some mats and yoga pants.
Breakfast.
You could have been on the way to yoga and then chose not to go.
Right.
Yes.
But okay, so the next scene. So the whole point of that scene is to discover something
about Maggie. That's all.
Maggie,
whatever.
Right? And then the second Sandverse scene, the whole point of that scene is to discover something about Maggie when she's not there. So the first one is to discover something about Maggie. The second point of the second Sandverse scene, when Alex goes to the ex-girlfriend's house, that point of that scene
outside her hotel,
is to discover something about Maggie with Maggie not being there. Now, this is where I had a problem, and I wrote it down, and I still have a problem with it now. The idea that Alex would go to an ex-girlfriend's house, to me, I really didn't like that.
It weirded me out.
It weirded me out like a clinger.
Like, I don't care who gay or straight, doesn't matter. Who does that?
I have to understand, the writers were trying to create a scene where Maggie's not there and you learn something about Maggie, and so that's how they did it. And I felt that was very clunky execution.
Once again, they missed the opportunity to put Alex and the ex in a situation. Maybe Alex is going to the grocery store or doing something.
But I was going to say, maybe she is the yoga teacher and Alex goes back to the next class. And that would have made, that conversation happen.
Something like that.
But Alex being outside a hotel is not Alex. She's not the kind of girl who stands outside a hotel. She works for the DEO.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was just not a very good connection. You could have used that yoga. Really, you could have used yoga as a connection to have the ex there and Alex there without Maggie.
Yes.
And they just didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, and so it looks like super creepy because if an ex of mine, if my ex's current person showed up at my house, I'd be like,
why are you here to talk to me?
I wouldn't even like be necessarily friendly like Emily was in this. I'd be like, who, what? Yeah, you, hi. And she's like, I gotta talk to you about why you didn't show up. And I'd be like, oop, okay, so A, I don't know you. B, bitch, get off my property. Like, or email me, call me, like, don't talk to me. I don't know you. Like, and then I would instantly get mad at Maggie and be like,
I would get mad at Maggie as
well. Because I'd be like, why are you sending your girlfriend? You can't even fight your own battles.
Your girlfriend's a stage 5 clinger. Watch out.
Exactly, stage 5 clinger or something. Yeah. That is really bizarre. I was like, ooh, this is awkward. I mean, obviously it had good intentions, but at the end of the day, it's still weird as shit.
But that so they used that second scene as a bridge to get us to the third scene. The third Sandverse scene
was the best, obviously.
It was the best scene in the whole show. It was the scene that I felt like you would have gotten between Cali and Arizona in a Grey's Anatomy show. You got it here in Supergirl. It was like this amazing scene in which Alex discovers that Maggie had this past, and when you think Alex is going to be this crazy, jealous ex-girlfriend and present...
Or new girlfriend, yeah.
Right, new girlfriend. Instead, when you think Alex is going to respond one way, she responds the opposite. I told you this show zigs when it wants to zag. And that's what made this so good.
I really enjoyed and appreciated the fact that they... You know what's funny? In the Sandverse scenes, whoever... Because I feel like it's one specific writer. I don't know who. But I feel it's always the same writer who really nails their dynamic. And then there's other writers doing other stuff. My thing is...
Winning.
they're
winning.
But, like, I like the fact that this writer, whoever did this, said, we're not going to make Alex jealous. And it actually showed so much maturity and growth and strength to not instantly have Alex go, I thought... Because she did think, she said, I thought about this all day. Which means she probably went back and forth like, oh my God, should I be worried? Should I not? And then she rationally thought about it. And it was like, oh, it's a pattern. Alex didn't necessarily make it about her. She pointed out a few things like, you know what? I'm not mad that you had this past and that you cheated. She goes, we all done dumb stuff. Because there are flashbacks of Alex, if anybody remembers, with the long hair, and she was a hot mess before she joined the DEO. She was getting drunk every day. She, like... quit going to medical school and things like that. So she understands making terrible choices, okay? I like the fact that she did not go, just because you don't trust me, I wasn't even going to care about the cheating, but you don't trust me. She didn't make it about her. She goes, I noticed that you didn't trust me enough to come to me with this. And that's not the issue I have. Or that's not the topic I want to bring up. It's that you have patterns. I've noticed because I finally watched, you keep doing that. You don't like to get closer. The people you are close to, you don't trust because when you had something really important, your family, who was the closest to you, treated you terrible and kicked you out and didn't, she goes, so I get it. I loved that. I loved that she just made it about Maggie and going, you know what? I'm not even mad. I get it. Also, can we give, once again, this episode gets a clap for Floriana. She takes shit and makes it gold. She gets barely any words. She gets, like, lines and dialogue, very little, coming from Maggie's character. She can cry and pull your heartstrings without saying a word. You can see the fear of finding out or having Alex find out that she cheated. That fear, that instant, you could see it in her face. Like, oh my God. It happened. You're going to bring it up and make me feel worse. And then she kind of was like a mess. She didn't know how to really internally respond. Like, fuck, I got caught. But it's not something that I want to get caught about. But I didn't, and then like the crying. And then when Floriana says, you don't think I'm a bad person? Because she instantly thought the person closest to her was going to just demonize her.
And as the audience, I feel like Floriana was the audience right there because we thought that's how Alex was going to respond.
Every review or recap that I saw of this episode, the first thing before the scene happened, people were like, oh, she cheated. Oh, or someone cheated on Alex or maybe Maggie, oh, she cheated. Oh, she's going to be the bad one. And then it switched. Or Alex is going to be in trouble. Which they did great on because even Alex, asking the ex to dinner, weird.
Weird, yeah. No, the how, can I just say this? The how in which Alex came to her conclusion with Maggie, that was all very clunky and weird.
That's weird because
that how if I showed that right now to any of my people, they would be like, "Why are you doing this?"
That's so weird. Like that's so weird.
And I just feel like the person who's in charge is not calling these little things, and whoever's in charge of like bringing the episode together and finalizing things, you should send your writer back. Be like, hey, why does this feel chunky here?
Also, prying.
Can we smooth this out?
Yeah, prying is like, I even said in a note, I was like, by prying the way Alex did, that's how you get your feelings hurt. Like, I know that there are exes with pasts, and sometimes I don't need to know that past because I'm in the present with you now. So, like, I don't need to know if somebody cheated. Not necessarily, because I'm going to forgive you, and if you do it now, fine, that's a pattern, and I get it.
Then, like...
But I'm going to trust you enough, because that's what you invest. And so, it was just weird. Like,
the show set us up, though. Like, they were like, we're going to give you a stereotypical cheating storyline. Just kidding. We're going to give you something super new and interesting.
Brava.
And worthwhile
exactly.
being here for.
Bravo.
But then all the other times, like in all sorts of other scenes, they're like, we're going to give you regular stereotypical bullshit. And so it's like, what we're asking for the level to be equal across the board. Don't make things convenient. Make things hard. That's what makes good television.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, 100%. I'm thinking... the Queen.
The Queen. Terry
Speaking
Hatcher.
of women who are just throwing us through the loops.
We talked about this. Can I point this one out? All right, I'm gonna take point on this. All right, because I felt like you hit that love over the head. You did fabulous.
Condescending asshole.
No, you were fabulous. Actually, you had it all.
Okay, my ass. Oh my god, the suction on my cheeks.
But I have some thoughts on Miss Hatcher.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Queen. All right. I said this in the past. I'm saying it again. The main theme about this show is about the children righting the wrongs of the parents. And one of the things they did that you actually predicted, I didn't see it happening, but you did. You said early on that Terry Hatcher's character, the Queen, would be more evil, and Kevin Sorbo, the King, would be more understanding. And so far, there's been a theme on the show where the males tend to be a little bit more bumbling, or they have the best interest of the main character in hand at heart, but it's not necessarily the best source of action or doesn't lead to the best results.
Yeah.
And the female characters, the older matriarchal mothers, are evil. And I'm basing this off of the fact that Monel's mother is evil, Lillian's mother is evil. I love me some complex mother-daughter relationship.
You mean Lena? Yeah.
I do. I feel like that's a little bit more developed between Lena and Lillian, as it should be. Mm-hmm. But I think the motive behind Terry Hatcher's character seems a bit shallow.
Yeah, I mean, even Kara's parents, Kara's aunt, Kara's adoptive mom had... I don't think they had issues, but, like, Alex had issues with them.
It's always the mother who acts viciously or maybe violently, and it's the father who acts in the best interest, even if it doesn't have the best outcome. And I feel like that in itself is some freaking gender unconscious sociological, psychological thing that's happening, and it's in our television, and I feel like we're demonizing our feminine characters, and I would much rather see, rather than a stock feminist female villain, a complex, developed villain. And my main thing with Terry Hatcher is the reason why she wants Monel. You know, she wants him. She just wants him. She wants him to come home.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that trope of...
It's a giant trope. You're right. That is it.
Of like,
she
the
wants
mom
him to
can't
come
let
home.
the son go.
What is that? That is like it's a Oedipus? No, it's electric or Electra
God,
complex?
I know at the top of my head.
The Electra is when the woman wants to marry the father, and the Oedipus is when the when the son wants to kill the father and be the son. There's nothing of that going on. It is just this. What she wants is she wants Monel to go home. Monel's a grown ass boy, and she wants him to go home, and she wants to do it without any like form of rationale.
Yeah, as much as I love the whole
irrational
evil Terry Hatcher, it's like, but I need to know.
There's not enough motivation.
There's not enough, because even Lillian
has
you understand
ideology.
There's an ideology behind it that makes sense to why she's such a hot mess. But like, your son doesn't want to come back after finding him. Now I get. You would think after 4 years, umpteen years, almost blew up, all this other stuff. A, you're excited to see your son. Awesome. Hey, this is my girlfriend. You might not like her, but the joy on his face, if she really cared about her son.
It's just like her killing her own husband to get her son back seems extreme.
Like, and well, that's
extreme.
That's completely
like, who would
obvious,
do that? Like, I understand having a son or a daughter that you love and you want back, But to kill the person who's your person and Kevin Sorbo is her person, just makes her so blatantly evil without without any other form of stock character, without any other form of characterization. It's just this stupid motivation.
Well, the only thing I can see as a motivation
she wants her son home.
No, not just that. It's status. Because she wants to, quote unquote, make Daxam great again. She wants to have her matriarch, her not matriarch, her
son?
No, her system. Her system. She wants her matriarch. She wants her king, her prince. She wants her people. She doesn't want things to change. And so I guess that can be a way of it, but the way they're kind of...
She doesn't want change to such an extent that she was willing to kill her own husband.
Exactly. She doesn't want change, and yet she changed it. So now she's in charge. I mean, are the people in the ship like, oh, damn, she just killed the king? Like,
I get it. If it's coming from a place of fear where I'm so scared of change, I have to kill my love of my life.
But they're not
I have to kill the man I loved in order to save my world from becoming changed, although it's already changed. I can understand that, but we get none of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see how they might have wanted that to be the case. But, like, I don't...
You should have shown me that in the little tiny scenes we had between her and her husband. We should have seen that fear in her of losing that change, and we don't.
Even the idea of, okay, you find out your son is in love or dating or whatever, the... Enemy. And it's not even an enemy. It's just it's a planet that blew up and it took your people out. Whoops. But, like, I get that you don't like something. There's parents who don't like their kids... person all the damn time. But then there's a difference of Terry Hatcher, I keep calling her that. I forget the queen's name.
I call her Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, his mama.
Her queen.
She isn't even angry at Kara necessarily. She's almost like she wants to punish Monel for
being in
love. She wants to punish for not being in love with her. Like, as far as, like, always staying her little boy.
A little bit Oedipus.
No, I don't mean, like, being in love, like, actual, like, sexual love. I'm saying, like, for moving on to growing up, because she might still see her prince as a boy.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know.
By the way, we've written more character background and more, like, for the queen just in 2 seconds of talking about it than is actually given. I'm like, maybe she's in love with, the idea of having a child.
Complex. Maybe she's afraid. Yeah. Maybe, but, like, what motivates her? What's the survival? What's one of the basic instincts that motivates that character?
Yep.
And when you just say, oh, I need my son, I need him to return home, and this is unacceptable, that's unacceptable. Yeah, because, like, okay, so let's just say, without all the episodes, she gets her son back. What then? Like, what was the effort? Why?
What? Okay, all that effort, you destroyed a planet maybe, because she doesn't hate Earth.
No.
She hates Supergirl maybe, I get that, and maybe she wants to hurt Supergirl, but then she wants to hurt Supergirl for what reason? Because she... liked her son and punished her for that, and then she's gonna take her son back and punish him, put him in jail, torture him until he forgets about. So, like, what's the point?
But then also you get this woman, right, who has this rationale. She has a way of speaking with Kara that really touches her. That, like, speaks to Kara about who those two peoples were.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you have that with this woman, and then you have this complete irrationality with her, and it's just like. What is she? Is she this profound woman capable of understanding this much larger arc between the Kryptonians and the Daxamites? Or is she this irrational woman driven by impulsive urges?
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of impulse urges.
Yeah.
She killed the king.
Impulsive. Yeah. That was impulsive. That was an impulsive murder.
I'm a little sad that Kevin Sorbo's no longer with us. I mean, the daddy Daxam. I'm bummed out because I love Kevin Sorbo. Also, I like the fact that he wasn't evil because I like Kevin Sorbo. I only see him as Hercules. I do not see him being a villain. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad that he was playing a good role. For me, kudos, once again, goes out to the costume department. My God, these people really... have an eye for detail. And when I mean detail, this wasn't a particularly lush and beautiful looking costume episode, but what was very, very smart, they showed the progression and the ultimate demise of the king through his wardrobe. We start the episodes off of him all in black, like we've seen them before in the episodes. He's all in black, he's doing his thing. As Monel talks to his parents every time, we then see the first scene where they're at the bar and they're in black. He is saying to his father, hey, we're good, but the queen was there. When the men got to talk alone, Monel's like, no, we can be better, we can do better. And the king is like, what do you, no, we can't. This is how we've always done it. And he's like, let's do something different. And you could see the king kind of like not wanting to hear it, but at the same time kind of feeling internally like, ugh, maybe you're right, that kind of thing. But when we see Monel talking to his father, he's wearing a darker top with lighter pants, I do believe. I could have mixed those up. It could be a lighter top and darker. Anyways, he is now wearing a mixed particular color. Carrie Hatcher talking about how her monologue where, she was let down and everything like that. He is wearing a fully cream outfit. So when he stands next to her, he's in light and she's in dark, which has, fixed the transition of, I guess you would say, his position through clothing. I thought it was so smart and very slight that they did that, because a lot of the times with the costuming, especially in this show, they just give little subtle nods. The episode where Lena is calling Kara her hero, she's wearing like kind of bullet like choker that kind of looks like
gold coil around her neck, like it's constricting what she really wants to say.
Exactly, and it's always perfect in those regards. So kudos to the costuming
wardrobe.
Yeah, wardrobe.
Ever.
They are killing it, man.
They are.
Oh, okay. So speaking of Daxamites and all that kind of shadiness, the president.
Oh,
Miss Linda Carter.
Right.
What'd you think, girl?
Well, it was lovely to see her in another episode.
Yes.
I wrote a note about it. Pull it up.
Loves me some
Wonder Woman. She does not want anyone to get involved with the Daxamite conflict. And I wrote, Wonder Woman does not ship Carmel. She is pissed. She wants him to leave the planet.
She's trying to give us all good advice. By no means engage with the Daxamites.
By no means engage with the Daxamites. Kara, Danvers, do not engage with the Daxamites. Let them go. She is the one person in this episode who is just really trying her hardest to get Monel off this planet.
They're like, but he's stuck on the ship. She's like, just leave him.
We don't want anything
no
to do
engaging.
with that. And I wrote, she just does not.
And the writers are John and everybody else just trying to go save Monel. That's great.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the president's concerned, a few things. What alien is she? Anybody? I have a few theories. I think that when we first saw her, I love when people decide to change looks of certain characters. We saw red, or like kind of bluer eyes with more of a red tinge and a skin. She looked a little bit more like pale, but like underlined with red. She looked weird, okay?
I don't know what alien that was.
Well, no, it was Linda Carter when she was kind of showed us a flash of her
okay.
alien the first time we saw her. Now, this time we see her, she fully transforms into this kind of tan, sunken in alien. My first thought when I saw it was that she was the queen of the Dominators. She looked very Dominator-esque. I figured in any beehive or anything like that, the queen is always a little bit more sophisticated than everybody else. She's smaller, she's smarter, whatever. The fact that she can talk and, is very savvy, I think kind of screams queen. And it would kind of make sense politically why she doesn't want to engage with the Daxamites. Now, when they got blown up, that, unleashed or released all of the aliens under their command or anybody who might have had business ties with them. Now, Slaver's Moon, when they were on there, the Dominator bowed to Monel, knows that he's royalty, things like that. I really think that she might be the queen of the Dominators. Now, because we're on Kara's Earth and not Flash Earth, when they did that 4-part crossover, 3.5-part crossover, let's be honest, the Dominators were evil, just really bad people. This, Earth is a little different. So when Kara first saw them, she was like, shit, not the Dominators again.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to be a little bit more docile and not bent on world domination. So I don't know. I wonder if possibly she's the queen and she's like, don't engage with them. You know, maybe she's still working closely with the Daxamites, but doesn't like them, so maybe she has to be a little shadier, a little bit, I don't know. So when I saw that, I thought she might be the queen of the Dominators. That's just my own guessings and that kind of thing. Also, sorry, one less thing with Monel, not Carmel. I appreciate the Legion's ring kind of flashing. We get it. He has a storyline. We know where he's going. It's just, fine. Also, where the hell did the queen get Psys from? Kryptonite Psy. I mean, I know it's been years, but, like, did she just have him lying around the ship?
She took him with her on the ship before the planet blew up. She was like, let me get my purse.
She like Lena?
Let me get some, like, my dress.
Let me get the red purse with the green Psy in it as opposed to the black purse.
And I put my Psys, because I don't know, but I plan to kill me some Kryptonite people.
Some Kryptonians.
And this purse goes with my dress, and I have the Psys, and it's the weapon of the day I'm carrying.
I just think it's funny because it's a very Lena move. That's all I'm saying. Lena, she'll carry a taser in the white purse, gun in the black purse.
So gun in the white purse.
Oh, excuse
taser
me.
in the black purse.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, we don't want the comments to blow up.
About the wrong purse, wrong gun. Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, good for her though. Right. And then I'm like, my question is, how does the king not know she has Psy? Just like running around, like, hey babe, what's up with those green Psy?
Did you get my sword, my Daxamite sword, handed down from generation?
She's like, no, but I got these Psy.
That was my father's sword, but I got the Psys.
That's what's important is I got the Psy.
Uh-huh.
Just no words, just emotions.
That's why the relationship ended.
Look, that's the truth.
All
right, so
final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts.
What did you think of the episode? What would you give it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
I would give this episode a C+.
C+.
A C+, maybe curved to a B. Maybe. It wasn't a bad episode.
That talking, it just gets a C.
I know, right? Because of all the talking, there was like a lot going on.
I'm going to give it a B because Sanvers was lovely.
Okay, I will give it a B because there was some mono growth. There was some Psy. Kevin Sorbo got killed. There was a lot of Terry Hatcher being a cunt. There was... side note, can we give a shout out to the extra/guard who was sacrificed while getting blown through the hole?
There's been some bullshit extras.
And by the way, the Psy got sucked out the window, and whose idea was it to have the Psy pierce the guard? Like, the one guy who gives no fucks about what's going on gets sucked out of a hole into black space and then gets punctured by Kryptonite Psy. Like, that sucks.
He was just going to work that day.
That is like the worst day of work ever. Like, just...
And how do you... Okay, when you break glass, how do you breathe? You know,
don't.
Like, you don't.
Well, they're all aliens, so we don't know what their deal is.
No, they weren't. There was... Oh, they were. You're right.
The only person would be Wynn, and he was like, no!
He was like, I can't breathe, no!
Well, it wasn't that... Also, the oxygen was being sucked out.
Your eyes get sucked out. That shit's real.
Yeah, but it wasn't going to be instantaneous, at least not the way they were doing it. So, like, Wynn had at least 2 to 5 seconds to win him way out of...
I watch a lot of sci-fi, and eyes being sucked out of your brain when you get jettisoned into space happens.
Oh, you're talking about the guard, how he didn't get jettisoned. Like,
I'm just saying, you can't breathe, you get that was not realistic.
No.
Wynn should have died.
Well, no, because I think he was not in that area, but that's besides the point.
Final thoughts, Dare.
Yeah, final thoughts. So... C+, possibly B if I'm swayed.
Because that Sanvers scene was straight up adult.
Okay, was straight up hood.
That was some calzona right there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so there's that. Oh, question, guys, ladies and gents, folks out there in the webs. Can you think of a series with a male lead where he becomes the B character once a woman has shown up into the show? To become a character. Like, have you seen a main character
in a Marvel series?
Or I mean,
DC?
I honestly think any series, really, but for now, let's say the comic series, where the main man character, the show is named after the main man character,
runs into a woman, and then all of a sudden, that rest of that season, it kind of just becomes about her and not him.
Like, okay, X-Files. Did it ever really become about
Gillian Anderson.
Until Mulder left? Not really. He was always still the main character.
Even though it was a duo.
Even though there was a duo and a partnership. The Flash. There's an example of the show. Would you see the Flash's girlfriend,
Iris,
becoming more important storyline than the Flash?
Now, right now, given the fact that she is dying or whatever her drama is
she still like given more
precedence? I mean, even though her storyline is of her death and it's
the Flash
urgent,
is still being the Flash. He's still stopping the world from blowing up.
And he's still trying to fix things. And if he does mess things up, it's on the Flash's terms. It's not on Iris's terms. So that's the question. Do you guys know of any real shows that are allowing the main character, male main character, to be overshadowed by his female counterpart or sidekick,
love interest?
Love
interest, because that is what Manal is. Manal should be the Lois to Kara's Clark, if you want to look at it that way. Did Lois Lane ever overpower the Superman?
Where you're like, I just want to tune in for Lois.
Did it ever become the Lois show? And like, did we ever lose sight of who Dean Cain was in that series? Did he ever, become secondary?
Even in Smallville, did Lois or I forget
Lana. That was the name of the girlfriend.
Or exactly.
Did Lana ever succeed Clark in his importance of being on his own show?
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing this character of Kara losing her agency. All her storyline A is about her relationship with a boy and falling in love.
And fixing him, but I don't really see him.
And then suddenly,
not fixing her, but like being there for her.
I want to refer to a line that Carrie Hackett has. She says this to Manal: "I'm your mother. You do not dictate the terms of our relationship." And this was a point in this episode, Distant Son. She says this to Manal, and this all the way as we've seen him as a character on the show, he's been dictating the terms of his relationship with Kara.
Yeah,
and I think for me, it gets exhausting. I just want to say to CW, women are trending right now. Women are the trend right now. You want to write relevant television. You are writing relevant television. Let your woman lead. There it is.
Yeah. Yes. And that's kind of a big deal right now. Like, what's the deal, And that was a question for you guys. Like, seriously, do you know of any other characters? Can you point out some more examples? Because
only 29% of females are actually writers in the writers' room.
And you know what? Yes, I get it, and I would love to see more women directors and writers and things like that. But men, you don't want to see powerful women. You don't want to see women kicking butt and taking names. And
no, they do, because actually, women with the leads in feature films like Hunger Games. That is actually what brings in more money in the box office.
Well, yeah, because it's so rare.
I don't know. I think it's because it's so wanted.
It's both. I would say both. It's wanted because it's rare, and because it's rare, we want it, and we want to see more, and we want to see that because also, much like football, a lot of the people who go to the films to see more things are females. And if you didn't know that, a lot more of the football NFL fans are female. So that's one of the reasons they are starting to make clothing and jerseys for women because, we're tired of stealing.
A lot of women watch football, is what you're saying?
A lot of women watch the football. Who doesn't? Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing.
I don't watch the football.
I know, but people do. Anyway, so it's that same kind of idea. So those are my
let your women be the women. Let them lead their show, damn it.
Hey,
see more
y'all.
Maggie. I want to see more Kara.
I want to see
Alex, damn you.
Yeah. I also want to see, that was the other, we'll talk about that in a minute, but actually we won't talk about it in a minute. That'll be on another podcast.
So can we tease the next podcast?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Go ahead.
All right. So on our next podcast, we are going to be creating a top 10 list of the things we would love to see in season 3.
And it's not just a matter of like more kisses or like, whatever.
But can I say I have a tease for that tease? I think we should make a top 10 list of the best extras from season 2. And then
you know
we
what?
can maybe get some pictures. And
I'm not gonna lie, guys.
stick that in.
I think that
We need to give these extras some creds.
because being a background
It's
artist
hard.
is some difficultness sometimes. I think
Let's
that'd
do
be
it.
hilarious.
It's funny.
That'll be
The
That'd
teas
be
on the
funny.
teas.
the tease on the tease.
Maybe we should do a top 10 of our favorite outfits. Like pictures.
Whoa, Jen, slow your roll,
I'm so into this. Let's do it.
Oh my god, hilarious, guys. So yeah, the next one after this will be a top 10 of the things we want to see for the season 3. Now, like I said, it's not just gonna be like, oh my god, I want to see Marquez's. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff.
We're working on it now.
We're working on it, and we're going over it and kind of narrowing it down. Even like motion, like what's our favorite camera not camera angles because that's kind of subjective, but I mean like moments, cinematography. Was there a moment where we really like things like this? So we'll get back to you guys. Thank you for listening to this one. This seemed to be a little long today, but it's because there was so much
And
underlining.
Also, we got a month, man. And
we
then
got a month.
Then we got that excellent next episode.
April 24th, I do believe, is the next episode where Lena is Lena because
She's
let's
making
welcome
out
her
with
back.
her ex-man. I can't wait.
And we're just like, what?
Let's see what her type
The
is.
scandal.
Is it nerdy chic?
Is it nerdy chic? Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
You know,
I have a feeling it is, though.
is that bro TP or girl TP or whatever you want to call it? The, car being there for the sensitive Lena. Is Lena gonna find out that she's Supergirl? Dun dun dun.
Do you think? Wait,
time.
Adair. Do you think by the end of the series they'll know if Lena will know if?
I just
the
feel like
Kara's
it would be
Supergirl?
such a disservice once again to the character, but the way they be writing stuff, who the fuck knows?
You brought it up, yeah.
Yeah, that Lena's not stupid. Homegirl did a bomb that like saved Supergirl, and Lynn was under the table there. She's not an idiot. If Maggie, a detective, is like, those glasses suck.
Those glasses.
Why?
Maggie can pick it up.
How is like Lena a businesswoman savvy who could undermine her mother's scientifical endeavors, not see her bestie is Supergirl?
Fucking Supergirl.
Like that is some like real blindness if it doesn't get revealed.
I agree. That would dumb the character down.
Like so much for no reason, like for something petty.
It's either nobody gets that she's Supergirl because of glasses, or everyone does.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
And how are we keeping this a secret if everybody in the DO like knows? Like, is that a confidentiality?
It's like the biggest
well-known secret. Just God.
Oh,
And you would have
God.
think no matter who you are, at any job, if there's that big of a secret, someone's gonna
Wait,
leak
take
it.
your glasses out real quick.
What? It's just me.
Oh my god, it's you! Hold on, put it back on. Oh my god!
Where'd I go? I can't even see myself.
I can't see who you are anymore.
I know.
Bring her back.
Just crying.
Asshole.
Anyways.
Alright, we're done. This is just stupid.
We're just being cheeky, guys. All right, so once again, hit us up on Twitter at whataboutdat. Actually, whatabout_dat. Talk about it. Let us know what you think. What do you feel about these episodes?
Would you know Tara was Supergirl with or without the glasses? Tell me that.
Would you hit on Supergirl in a bar if you saw Kara? That's a good question.
Depends. Is she Supergirl or is she Kara?
Well, if it's Supergirl, you're like, ooh, I don't want to hit on Supergirl. That's fucking weird.
I
But
don't know.
like, if it's Kara at a bar, just like
I
drinking
think
her club
I'd be
soda,
more inclined to like hit on Supergirl than Kara.
because like, what, you don't think it's gonna happen or something?
No, I would be like on purposely overly chivalrous, like, oh,
Be like, look at how good I
you've
am.
been
You're not the
working
only
hard.
one.
You're girl still. Let me buy you a drink. Whereas Kara would be like, I wouldn't even look at that mousy.
True.
I wouldn't notice.
Oh,
Or would
will.
I? Would I be able to tell the glasses?
Oh, would I know one's the other? Well,
Oh, yeah, I
that's
think I
another
know
one.
that.
Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later, and make sure you hit us up and ask us, what about that? Bye.